Alrighty, so welcome back. We are live from MISA here on this amazing Thursday. So we are week 6 in the semester, week 5 in the MISA events. So for all of you that this is your first time joining MISA, welcome. For those of you who have been with us for the past few sessions, thanks again for coming back and joining us. So last week we had a really cool company information session with Marissa Torres from Deloitte. And so hopefully that was enjoyable to be able to kind of hear a little bit about the insight in that. So as we said before with MISA, we alternate between company information sessions and general meetings. And so we had the company last week. So then today, what we're going to have is our general meeting where we kind of talk about different things that are available to help you in sort of your educational journey. And so today we have an amazing session from the Career Center. So here, I'm excited to have her here because of the new role that she's in. But for those of you that don't know, we have a College of Business Career Center liaison that's strictly for the College of Business students. So very helpful, especially if you're new to FAU or if you've been here for a while, to have somebody that's a contact, because sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming or scary to be able to go to the Career Center and do that, and not know kind of where to talk to. So we're very happy for that. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and toss it over. So can we give a nice warm MISA round of applause for our College of Business liaison from the Career Center, Ms. Desiree George.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, evening, just hello, everyone. As Dr. Sweet said, I am Desiree George. I am newly the College of Business liaison. Before I got into this role, I was I was a career coach in the Career Center. So I have been here for a couple of years, and now I am the College Business liaison. And I'll share my contact info at the end if it hasn't already been shared. So I'm here to tell you about the Career Center and specifically tell you about how you can prepare for virtual career fairs. Specifically, we're going to focus on Expo that's coming up on Tuesday, but the information that you see here can be applied to any of our virtual fairs or even the in-person ones to an extent. I am a person who is open to questions. I know there's a question portion at the end, but you can also put questions in the chat if it just happens to pop into your head as I'm presenting. I will give a moment for you all to please take out your phones if you can and scan the QR code. If you've been in MISA or been in the presentation, you probably have seen where you have to sign in on the sheet. But Handshake in the Career Center, we are upgrading, and now we have this QR code for you all to scan to check in. I'll pause for a second. And if I need to come back to it, I will. Okay. So like I said, we have Career Expo coming up on Tuesday, but we also have a lot of other fairs going on this semester, and these same fairs will happen again in the spring. So next up is Career Expo, where we're going to have employers that are mainly focused on hiring students for careers, but there may also be some employers that are hiring for internships as well. Excuse me. And then if you're interested in accounting by any chance, that fair is coming up. And then also the STEM fair, where there will be some more tech employers that are related to Visa. That fair is on Tuesday, October 19th. That fair, though, is in person, but there's probably going to be another Prepare for the Fair event for that. Okay. So what is a virtual career fair? In the chat or whatever is easiest for you, can anyone or for those of you that have attended a virtual career fair, can you show me either by a raised hand, a clap, or me in the chat? I see a couple of hands being raised and thumbs up. Okay, so a few of you. So for those that, excuse me, don't or haven't been to a virtual career fair, a virtual career fair is an online event in which employers and job seekers can meet in a virtual environment. We use chat rooms, but now the fair also has video or teleconferencing features as well. So you go into the fair and you're going to a lobby of sorts, and you're gonna have the different industries. You click on that, and then you go into the employers, and then you go into their chat room and you start chatting with them. You will have the option to video conference the employers in that fair, but it'll more likely than not be initiated by that employer. You can also upload your resume. So instead of having to physically have your resume and maybe hold it up on the screen to the camera, you don't have to do that. You can upload it. Excuse my phone ringing. You can upload it to the Premier Virtual platform, and it's Premier Virtual 2.0. So if any of you went to the career fairs last semester that were virtual, it was on Premier Virtual. This time it's on Premier Virtual 2.0. So everybody's upgrading. It's a much even better system than it was last spring. So what is needed to ensure you feel prepared for a virtual career fair? I'm actually asking you all these questions. You can come off of mute and answer or put it in the chat. What do you think you need to feel prepared?
I think you need a good camera setup and a good background.
Precisely. Good camera. Good background. You make sure your background, like kind of like mine. We're gonna go over this as well, but my background, or you can have a virtual background, an elevator pitch, and research the company. So yeah, y'all just gave my whole presentation. I guess that's it for me. Just kidding. I'm gonna go through it all. Yes, dress professionally, a link to your LinkedIn and or resume. Yes, I love these answers. So y'all are already prepared. I'm not surprised. I hear amazing things about me. So yes, you're all correct. First thing first, research the participating organizations. So if you weren't aware, you can log into Handshake when you go to register for the fair. You can see all the employers that are going to be there. And if the employer has inputted, you can also see what opportunities they're hiring for. So you have all the, not all, but a lot of the info you need to really be prepared. Excuse me. You can visit the company's website to learn more about them, write down some interesting facts you find, write down some things you have questions about, because you can use all of that for your elevator pitch or when you're talking to them to help move and guide that conversation. Research definitely goes a long way for impressing an employer to show that you're actually interested. So first step, research your organizations. Second step is prepare your resume and your cover. Oh, you need a cover letter just yet, but prepare your resume. You're going here because you want these employers to hire you, or you want them to at least put them in your network. So if you're not aware, at the Career Center, we have not only all of these sample resumes and cover letters on our website, but we also offer drop-in career advising or appointments for you to get your resume reviewed. So the Expo is on Tuesday, but you have tomorrow and Monday morning and afternoon to get your resume reviewed. You can get some feedback, fix it up over the weekend or Monday night, and be ready to upload it when you attend the fair. Or if you don't necessarily have the time to go into our office, we have virtual as well, but you can use one of the many samples that we have on the website, or you can specifically use the MISA, not the MISA sample, but the Management Information System sample. And I don't know how well you all can see this, but this is a pretty good sample. So this resume sample, it has contact information, it has LinkedIn information, that like Carice mentioned you should have on there. Always have your education section first, especially as current students, so employers can see, you know, what degree you're getting and when you expect to have that degree. You can input relevant coursework. I thought I saw a spelling error there. You can input relevant coursework. If you're in your junior and senior year, there's no upper level courses to showcase what knowledge you have recently or currently gaining. Computer skills, especially something relevant and important for your major or your intended profession. So if you have knowledge of these different softwares or tools, definitely put those on your resume. They do stand out. And then of course, your experience, relevant experience or just transferable experience. Make sure that you go through and you explain your skill set well. That's what that experience section is for. It's how you explain or showcase what skill sets and knowledge that you have. And then activities, if you're here, you can put NISA on your resume for sure. And then whatever else you have. And if you have any languages or any other awards or titles or anything, you can put it on your resume. Okay. So you research the company, you gotten your resume together, and you're ready to upload it. Now it's time to practice your elevator pitch. So who here does not know what an elevator pitch is or has never done one before? I'm not seeing any emojis or whatever their Zoom thinks they are going up. Okay. So
Everyone's afraid now. They're like, oh no.
And it's okay. It's a no judgment zone. I honestly didn't even know what an elevator pitch was, I think, until I got to grad school. So it's okay. But so that we can review it and make sure you have a good elevator pitch, there's 3 keys to a great pitch. You always want to start with your present, then you go into your past, and you go into your future. Your elevator pitch is that quick summary or intro of who you are to that employer, right? It's what's going to get them talking back to you, see if you, even from your elevator pitch, are going to maybe be somebody that might be a good candidate for whatever they're hiring for, whether it's in the present or the future. So again, the 3 keys, the format of your elevator pitch should be your present situation, your past experiences, and your future goals. So let's go through an example of one. The wind up and pitch. So let's say you're at Expo or wherever you may be, and you begin talking to an employer. Your elevator pitch. Well, let's do it like this. I'm gonna go back in time, and I'm going to pretend like I'm in grad school and I'm at a conference or something, and for education. And so this is how maybe my elevator pitch would sound. Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Desiree George. I'll be graduating in 2023, May 2023, with a master's in higher education and student personnel services. My background includes higher education. I've worked in career centers as well as other higher education offices such as admissions, as well as one other office. Right? Something I'm very proud of is this program I created when I was in my career center office, and developing new programs and talking with students are some of the things that I'm good at. You know, I'm interested in your company because I want to continue to progress my career in higher education and develop different skill sets. And I was interested in your company specifically because I see that you all work with this specific demographic, and I really want to be able to do that in my career. And I'd love to find out more about how I can get involved or learn more about your company. That was a very rough draft, but that's an example of your elevator pitch. So like I said, you start with your present. So what you're currently majoring in, when you expect to graduate. Then you go back to your past. So what's your background? What type of classes have you taken? What type of projects have you done? What jobs have you held that relate to that company or the job or internship that you're interested in? Keeping on with going with your past, speaking about something that you're proud of. It can be any type of accomplishment that is on your resume, which will also lead you into your skill sets. If it's an accomplishment, it's probably one of your skill sets, so you shouldn't have to think too much about those two answers there. And then you end with, this is what I want to do, so this is why I'm in front of you. And it's not on here, but one thing I always like to tell students or tell people in general is to try to end with a question. When I did mine, I couldn't think of one on top of my head, but if you end by asking them a specific and directed question, they have to answer you. So you're getting them talking, and then from there, the conversation should just flow. So now we're going into, I think it was Jonathan that said something about camera backgrounds. Sorry for getting that name wrong. But your technology is super important, especially for a virtual career fair. You want to make sure that you have a good internet connection. So go to the library. If you're home, make sure you're like right by the Wi-Fi, because we all know how internet and technology can get. So you want to make sure you have a good signal. Right? Make sure your webcam is working. If you have to get an external webcam and not rely on the one on your computer, do that to make sure that when you do begin to video, that you're not going to have any issues. Make sure your sound is doing well. So if you have to do a test run the day before or before the fair with a friend or someone, do that. Make sure everything, or try your best to make sure everything is running well. Your camera angle is also very important. So you want to at least see from the shoulders up. So this is a good angle. The angle that Dr. Sweet is at is a good angle. Basically, they just need to see your face. They don't necessarily need to see your whole body, so you don't want the camera to be too high or angled low. You want it to be at an angle where it's easy for you to maintain direct eye contact, right? Like I'm maintaining right now. So that camera angle is extremely important. And I think I'm going to come back. Yeah, I'm going to go over eye contact in a moment. You want to make sure your environment is good. So good lighting, not necessarily any background noise, nothing too uncluttered, and you can add your personal touch. So this might be where a virtual background comes into play. You want to create one with your name and something about you. Maybe you put your name, maybe you put your name, your major, and the graduation date or something like that. You can add your personal touch to it as long as it is professional. You can show my question, think of the chat. Okay. Non-verbal communication is extremely important, especially when you're on a camera, when it's just you and that one person face to face. Right? So eye contact is everything. So there's a difference between eye contact and camera contact. It's a little weird, but in order to make eye contact in a virtual setting, you have to look directly at the camera. So like I'm doing right now, it should appear like I'm looking right at you, right? But I'm not. I'm looking at a camera hole. But if I start to look down or I start to look at the screen or look away, that we're more inclined to do that. But now you're not looking at me face to face. You're looking at whatever you see at that angle. So always try to make sure that you maintain eye contact. You want to have an upright posture, stand straight. I'm not staying straight, but sit straight, or maybe you are standing. Either way, and plus that's just good for your health overall anyway. Hand gestures. I say this as I'm doing this now myself, so I know it's hard to not talk with your hands a lot. So try not to have too many distracting hand gestures, especially if your camera angle is really close. You don't want anybody to see all of this while you're talking to them. It's a distraction. So if you have to fold your hands or clasp your hands together, put them in front of you, put them under your legs, whatever you have to do to try to minimize those hand gestures. And then remember to smile as you talk. Right? Smiling, it makes the recruiter more or the employer more uncomfortable, and it'll also make you more comfortable as well. And you notice the fast difference in yourself and how that person responds to you when you remember to smile as you talk. You would think that this has to go without saying, but wear a professional outfit or professional dress. Right? So you want that, you want to make sure that you're wearing neutral colors. You have a high neckline, that's mostly for women. Get a haircut, trim whatever you got to trim. Make sure that you're at least looking as best as you can. Right? You want to have minimal jewelry on and try to avoid anything that makes a sound. So if you have bracelets or whatever it may be, try not to wear those, or just try to wear the ones that don't make that much noise, because again, you don't want to have a distraction. I'm going to come to it in a moment, but if you need clothing, in the Career Center, we have a professional clothes closet. So if you don't necessarily have a suit or a tie or a dress to wear for the fair, you can come by our office and get that for free. And as you see the quote at the bottom, it says, if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you do good. Right? Now, it says Georgia St. Pierre, but I learned that quote through the great Dion Primetime Sanders. So that's who I'm going to quote that by. But it is true. If you look good, you're feeling good, you're looking good, you're like, oh, I look really good. So you also feel confident about yourself. And when you feel confident, you will perform well. So dress the part, even if you think that they're only going to see you from the shoulders up. You never know what may happen. So put on the full outfit, because again, you never know. And then lastly, but not necessarily least, follow up. So as you're talking to these different employers, take note, get their contact information. It'll probably be on their profile, but still ask for it just in case. Get their email, their preferred email or form of contact, so that you can follow up afterwards. These employers are going to be talking to hundreds of students probably. So they're not going to remember each and every person they talk to, even if you had a really great conversation. It will help, but you have to take it a step further and make sure to follow up. It will set you apart. Every student does not follow up, even if they're interested. Every student does not send that follow-up message. That follow-up should say something about thanking them for the talking to them, or talking to you rather. Restate your interest in the position or the company, right? Submit any additional materials if they ask for it, if you want to send it. And then also in that thank you, make mention of something that you all discussed, right? So it can help them jog, so you can help them jog their memory of your conversation. You're virtual, so it's going to be a lot easier to have like a notepad or something beside you to take a note of, okay, this is what we talked about. So you can now go add this to that follow-up email. Right? In person, it's a little bit harder to do that because you're trying to hold everything together, but if you're at a desk, you have your notepad. Another cool thing about this new Premier Virtual platform is that you can like take notes within the platform, and you can favorite employers and you can come back to them. I'm not sure of all the details, but it has some neat things to help you out with that. So yeah, make sure that you follow up. It makes a world of a difference. And this applies for networking at a career fair and also for interviews. But that's an entire other presentation that we can go through at another point. So those are all the steps. First, you want to research, then you want to get your resume. Okay, it's going to take too long to go back to all of that. So research, get your resume together, make sure your technology is good, dress professionally, and make sure that you're ready, and get your elevator pitch together as well. So remember those steps, and then if you forget, try to schedule an appointment with us or come in for drop-in advising. We have drop-in appointments Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is virtual on our website, And then 1 to 5 p.m. is in person at the FAU Career Center. And while you're there, you can also utilize any of our other services, such as figuring out a career, finding jobs or internships, resumes, applying for grad school, preparing for practice interviews, or whatever you may need as it relates to your career. We also have virtual evening sessions. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I believe, we have a career coach that accepts appointments up until 9 p.m. They go extremely fast because there's a lot of people who want those late appointments. So definitely, if it's something that interests you, go look and try to schedule now. But we are offering late services now. As I said before, we have the free clothes closet. We're actually in the student union this week, so don't come to our office this week. We have our entire clothes closet in the student union. As soon as you walk through the doors, it's one of that big room that has the glass doors. You can't miss it. You'll see it. It's glass, and it's going to be a bunch of random suits. So, and it's free. They have been flying off the shelves this week. So if you need that, or even if you have like extra clothes that you want to donate, or you know somebody that does, you can stop by the clothes closet. Then there's Interview Stream. If you want to practice interviewing or use this as a practice tool for your elevator pitch, it's a system that has a bunch of pre-made interview questions, and you can practice answering them on a recorded video. And you can even share it with us, or you can share it with Dr. Sweet or whoever you want to review it to get feedback. And then lastly, stay connected with us, especially our Instagram and I think our TikTok, but definitely the Instagram. There's a lot of cool stuff that we post on our Instagram. We have different employers who take over our Instagram for the day and give you insight into their company, what jobs they're hiring, what it's like to work there, and so on. And then we also share other tips and events. And with that, actually, I forgot about this slide. All right. If you have not registered yet for Career Expo, you would register in Handshake or register at Premier Virtual for the fair. If you register early, you can upload your resume early. You can also do a video resume. That's another new thing. It's basically your elevator. Sorry, again. It's basically your elevator pitch in a pre-recorded video. So now that is the end of the presentation. So do you all have any questions?
That was great. So thanks so much. I mean, that just summarized, I think, perfectly in a nutshell, everything that's available at the Career Center. So really great. So let me go ahead and I'll stop the recording, and then